if there is patience in the audience, we would love to hear. I mean, sorry, I'm just taking over. Shriya and please, aap log aa jao. We had one very important component where we said that educational campuses are a big thing, and we worked over 3 months with SVKM precinct, which is the Shri Vile Parle, the NM Mithibai College, if you know, almost 10,000, 20,000 students. So we have a wonderful team there. Please quickly introduce yourselves. This is Shriya Bhatia. She's a professor of architecture at Balwant Sheth School of Architecture. Disha, yes.
Thanks.
Ah, okay.
I'll
Yeah.
just introduce and give a context to this project. I'm a planner and I was trained to look at cities from the top. But when I became a mother, I realized the city's experience from the bottom. When you hold your child who's like a toddler, you know, 2 feet high, and experience the city at the street, right? And that's how he's understanding, or children are understanding and connecting to their community, knowing the city, knowing their community. And when once I was running errands with him, he, in the dark, dingy streets, broken streets, and he says, Mama, the government wants to kill us. And that really, really hurt me bad. And I felt that I have failed him and I have failed all the children of this city as an architect and a planner. And that's when we felt that, being in Balwant Sheth School of Architecture, where we are training architects, and faculty coming from urban design, planning, landscaping, along with my colleague Pratishta, we thought that we should take it up and look at the precinct of SVKM, which is Shri Vilepale Kelavani Mandal, where we have 50,000 students and 15 colleges. And we wanted to make this precinct a better place for these students. So that was one objective. But the other objective was also to train our architects to be sensitive and to take on the world to make and improve, the cities of the future. So I will give the mic to the students because they have worked on it. And we've also fortunately have had interactions with MMRDA post this design, and we've had a good interaction. So everything is not bad. Sometimes some things good come up. So over to them.
Hi, thank you for waiting for so long. So we'll try and keep it brief. And just to begin, we are architecture students who worked with the Walking Project to develop this project. I think we all know that pedestrian access really matters. We know the problems. We know that we need to have these solutions. Just to take you all through the process we went to. We addressed the challenges by having on-site observations, studies, drawings, seeing where we can improve it. As we've discussed today already, the IRC, the Indian Road Congress, is a beautiful standard that's already been set. We just need to actually implement it. And yeah, this is a chaotic graphic showing how bad the situation really is in Ville Parle, where crossing over the road is almost an impossible task, where hawkers are actually part of the urban fabric, where they create safety for us women to walk because we know that they're around and there are people around them as well. So here's a timeline. We'll get to it in the drawings. This was created a little earlier. But to take you all through our timeline, as we said, we started in December with this whole process of design. We had the SV Road walk in Jan, and in March, luckily, we had the fortune to present to SVKM and to MMRDA. So you can connect with us on Instagram if you all want to know more. This was a few images from the SV Road walk. So we had great stakeholder interaction, people who lived there giving their feedback. And we took this further by going to every stakeholder there is. So the hawkers who are there legally, the temporal people walking across, and more. And the parameters pretty clear. I think Pankaj sir and Pranav sir have already explained, like surface quality, continuous footpaths, obstructions, adequate crossings. And now here I'm coming to the stretch we've intervened in, and I'll take you in detail through one of the stretches as well. But this is the precinct along our college. So we started by conducting a My Maps survey. So actually on site, just marking out everything from the trees to the obstructions to the hawkers, and then really translating that into drawings. So marking it through images and of course the drawings. So I'll explain this Baidas Bhutta junction in detail because let's just take a very simple example, which is this traffic island that was there. It was operating perfectly normally until it got built up with railings and planters were added. And now, if you can see in the graphic, instead of actually accessing the traffic island, you have to walk around it, further aggravating the bottlenecks, the traffic, because it's so unsafe for A, the pedestrian, B, even a vehicle has to wait. And it's just entirely a inefficient system that's there. So just simply following Indian Road Congress guidelines, we have suggested 3 solutions. Designing the traffic islands beautifully, having great disability access, so having your 2-meter ramps with a decent slope that makes it easily accessible is one option. Or so you can see this option has the ramps. Sorry, this option has the ramps. The first option is the ideal condition where you raise that entire region as a tabletop crossing. So your, let's say, a wheelchair doesn't have to go down to road level. Everything is on the footpath level, and the vehicles are the ones who have to actually come up to the tabletop level. Second is obviously the ramps. And third is having everything at grade level is also a solution. So if you have these traffic islands, they become these accessible points for a pedestrian to wait while crossing, right? So they don't need to be raised or somehow more difficult for a disabled person to access, is the ideal thing we're explaining. So this is a MMRDA drawing which we overlaid our suggestions on, and we were very happy to receive positive feedback regarding that. And we've done this for every single stretch, just suggesting simple solutions, implementing them, and seeing whether they work or not. So this was the second stretch where ideally the issue was that the shoulder region of the road was just used for auto parking. So why not just incorporate that in the footpath and have hawking zones instead, or auto stands, or specify designated parking zones so that it doesn't become a problem on the road. And just going to our third stretch, which has the metro.
Okay, so the third stretch is where the Mithibai gate and the NMMS building gate in, I mean, okay, let's get to the images first. I don't know, okay, yeah. So this is the junction we're actually talking about. Again, there's a beautification of the traffic triangle that's there. So people are not able to access it. This junction has a lot of pedestrian crossing because a lot many students access this place. I mean, as Shriya ma'am rightly mentioned, there are more than 50,000 students and 19 colleges that are running in one single building. So we have many, I mean, the footfall here is huge. Now, one surprising, I mean, it's not surprising, but this stakeholder interaction that we had, the stakeholders rated the street to be a 2-star out of 5-star street based on their walking experience. So we identified the problems here, which was pedestrian, I mean, the crowding happening at the gates, there's no proper crossing, the traffic islands being not utilized. And these are the existing sections for the same. We then proposed a few solutions when the first one is making the I mean, in the graphics right besides, you can see that making the traffic islands accessible for both normal average human as well as the disabled. Then providing proper designated zebra crossings. When you also have wide enough for, I mean, the medians that are wide enough for crossing. We also have the metro station exits which are opening right besides the gate, and hence we've considered giving a wider footpath there. The slip lanes can have a tabletop crossing so that the average speed of the vehicles can reduce. A similar intervention is proposed for the other 2 gates, wherein a tabletop crossing is introduced. Now, the most important and major and controversial topic here is the hawkers, the food stalls that are there. So we have considered moving the food stalls to the other street so that the main interactive junction that's happening doesn't, I mean, the food stalls or the people do not obstruct it. Again, this was a small interaction with the MMRDA that we had, and they helped us with we helped them with a little bit of changes on the junction designing. These are the graphic.
I also want to acknowledge at the same time Mr. Ritesh Patil is there from MMRDA. We have, because of our time things, we couldn't accommodate you, sorry. But if you want to quickly add 2 words, you can. You want to say something by any chance? That's okay. Then fine, fine. Let it be because we are anyways really rushing. We have had to sacrifice Aishwarya's presentation also on SV Road. So yeah, if you can wind up quickly.
Yeah, sure. There's this another junction that we studied, and this is an Irla Market Road. So the only one single main proposal that we had was to make this road a one way, and rest of the things are like there's a tabletop crossing, the pedestrian safety, and dividing the footpath into three zones. That is the two zones basically, the utility zone and the pedestrian walkway zone. Yeah, that's how we wind up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.